I need a weight box for the tractor to help balance out the load when I'm using a loader, but I don't have one, so we're going to build one. So what I'm going to do is use this old tube steel. I'm going to get this welded up in here. Basically building a new drawbar. We'll stick that inside there. Weld it all up tight. Do it on both ends, and that should be our beam to go on the inside of our weight box. So I finally got back to my weight box project for the tractor. Give me a little ballast in the back end, especially when carrying heavy loads on the loader. So my plan was to actually weld up a horizontal bar, the bottom bar, and I bought 2 hitch pins for a 3-point hitch, welded them on. You know, they had the threaded rods to them. I just put them on some square tubing, welded it all up, and then I was going to build the whole 3-point hitch, the 3rd point. Well, yesterday I was out hauling some big heavy timbers. They're like 4x6 and they're waterlogged and they're really kind of heavy. They're probably 12 feet long. Out to the shooting range, and the old tractor was just doing this number. So it was pretty dicey carrying a big heavy load the other day. And then it dawned on me, I don't know why, that I don't actually have to have that 3rd point, because all that's doing when I lift up the 2 main bars, the hitch is just gonna tilt. So with the chain on the top, it's gonna keep that from rocking back, and I really just need it for weight. So you can see, I just took the bar, put it where it needs to go. I just slammed some holes through here, and just taped it up just to keep the concrete from coming back out. So I just used a 50-gallon drum. It was actually already cut down. I don't even know where it came from. Put it in between the 2 main bars, and then just roughly lined up where those pins are going to be, and used a marker to come in from the outside and put a little dot. Drilled a hole with a spade bit, several holes, and kind of cut it out with my utility knife. Did on the other side, same thing. Made sure I had a little bit of a clearance because I knew with the concrete it was going to bend that barrel just a little bit, deform it slightly. So I wanted to make sure that there was plenty of clearance around all the arms and the tension so that I would have plenty of play. And I do. So I actually just left it hooked right up to the tractor when I poured the concrete. Just because I wanted to kind of stay in place and make sure nothing was going to change. If it did, that I could adjust it. But it didn't. It stayed as it was. So then, to that bar, I had this old chain kicking around in the barn. I don't know where that came from either. And it's only like 5 feet long. It's just an awkward random piece of chain I had kicking around with a big old hook on the end. So I took the chain, wrapped it around that horizontal pipe, brought it up, used a wooden stake to go across the top of the barrel, hold everything in place. Good to go. Filled it full of concrete. I just used a mix of Portland cement. I've got 2 bags of Portland cement in here. They're 94 pounds a piece. Once it got to have a nice muddiness and a lot of stickiness to it, I'd grab a whole bunch of stones from behind me, add them till it was nice and thick and had a good volume to it. Had a couple of buckets of sand kicking around, a little bit of gravel. I just threw that in there. I did also throw a whole bunch of scrap metal in the bottom of this and a gigantic spider web. Figured it was a good place to get rid of all that scrap. Why not? And that's it. But I think you can get away with it. Let's hook it up and see how it does. Alright, I can already see there's going to be a couple issues with the top attachment piece. The angle that I'm at now, the attachment arm is going to bend on that barrel edge. It's going to put a lot of stress on that arm. So I'm not sure. I'm going to lift it slowly. Plus the stress on that outer pin, it's actually not a very good idea. I think what I might do is get a big U-bolt or a gigantic carabiner, maybe a big carabiner, because there won't be a lot of shear force on it, maybe a little bit bouncing, but for the most part, it should be pretty steady. Oh, Ethan's here. I'm gonna lift it up, see what it does, go from there. All right, so that works out pretty well, except that there is gonna be some binding on that bar. So, I'm gonna go back to the drawing board, get this figured out. At least I can lift it so I can move the tractor back under shelter. And then I will ponder how I'm gonna do this. I might just cut a notch in the concrete. Or maybe I should probably extend that chain higher, probably with a couple carabiners so I can go right through that eye of the third point on the hitch, and that'll probably give me enough room to pivot and not bind up on that harness. So I'll work on that and follow back up when I get it all done. I think I can just get away with this whole bar and just run a chain from here right up into that pin up here. I don't know if you can see it. You know, where this bar comes in, just take that cotter pin in, that bolt, and just put a chain in there. And I think the chain would have enough flexibility that even as this was rising and the chain was binding over that front lip, it would cause the whole thing to turn, and there we would get our slack and our movement. I've got a new idea. I just went to the barn really quick. I don't know where my chainsaw went. But rope would probably work just fine too. I got a piece of lobster line here. So we can just lash that on and see if it works. If not, we'll go to a chain. Let's take this in the toolbox. Jeez, could I just knock that one on there? Let's see. Let's see what it does. Well, geez, that rope works pretty good. There's tons of flex. It doesn't even tip. And with that hook on there, I only put like a small half hitch in those two pieces of rope. This is a bunch of just old potwort, they call it. Some old lobster rope. I think it's got like a 550-ish pound brake strength. This is probably only about 300 pounds at the most. Maybe on some heavy duty bouncing, there could be enough shear force. And right now there's a little bit of play in it, just because I haven't tightened up those arms. I'm really just seeing how this would work, but heck, I think I'm gonna go with this.